Hello, my pretties. It is Chandra here. Time for your Leo January 2020 reading. I will be using the Vice Versa Tarot. I've actually decided that I'm going to start using that for all of my readings. So we will go ahead and get started. I've got your cards pulled and we are starting off with the King of Pentacles. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Hierophant, the Ace of Cups, the Hermit, the Tower, and Justice in reverse. I will say we have 4 major arcana in this reading, and the Tower card has come up in, I want to say, 2 other readings, and Justice has come up in another reading. So there's definitely something going on here. We also had the Nine of Wands show up in another reading, so you may want to listen around and see who else is showing up. The Hierophant, just a quick reminder, is actually Taurus. Oh, and I believe Leo was mentioned in the Taurus readings. You may wish to watch the Taurus reading specifically. And then, of course, Libra. And I haven't done Libra yet, but as soon as that's up, I would keep an eye out for it. So we're starting from a place of abundance, masculine abundance. So I would say that's more like physical power, like going out, getting what you want. Like almost a brute force energy, but also we have this Three of Pentacles. So it's like creative, but he's like, it's been like back-breaking work kind of, to get tangible possessions. And with the, oh, sorry, jumping ahead. We also have the Rose here. And that is, there's the opportunity for love down here by Leo's feet, but it's not so much. And this is more so masculine, but it's not so much that he's paying attention to it. It's like he's busy placing the cornerstone. Then we look at the Nine of Wands, and he's been in a fight. You can see that here. There's masculine and feminine. He's got the sun and moon on his armor. But this card for me is very much so taming the inner beast, and making peace with oneself. And that brings in the feminine, the Queen of Wands, the full feminine embodiment of fire energy. So that queenly, regal, like this warmth and fire and fervor. And then we have the Two of Cups, which is like almost, it's not quite union, but it is very much masculine and feminine balance. And that can be within oneself. And I feel like it is because that's followed by the Hierophant. But this is also dealing with the Taurus. I want to say this is dealing with the Taurus situation, especially since Leo and Taurus reference each other in their individual readings. And there's the masculine and feminine very clearly represented here with the gold and silver keys here. There's this light and knowledge coming together. And there's the symbol for, this is like an ancient symbol for fertility here, and there's a baby holding a key. So it's, some of this is like your inner child holding the key to your creativity. This light and knowledge coming together. So this is very much like an internal process. But then we also have the Ace of Cups in reverse. And this is kind of my stalker card, I'm not gonna lie. And we've got this guy over here who's looking at the fountain. And sometimes, like, sometimes this is it depends on how this comes out. It could be like with lovers, it can be like the prince waiting in the wings, like your knight in shining armor waiting in the wings. But the way that this is, it's more so of a Leo being focused on themselves, on their own like internal stuff, what they have going on, and making peace with themselves, and having somebody being in the shadows watching you get your life right and being like, ooh, I want to get in on that. And I don't feel like this is in a good way, because we then have the Hermit, right? And this is in reverse. So there's a bit of Scorpio and Cancer energy showing up as well. This card, I believe the Hermit was also in Taurus, I want to say. So it's like someone's doing all the internal work here, and someone, instead of doing the internal work, is watching the person who's doing their internal work, right? And there's this Tower moment coming out here. So there's definitely, I feel like there's a cross watcher in this situation. So this may be Leo, this may be Leo's cross watcher who's experiencing this. In some way, it ties in with Leo. I feel like the person who's not minding their own business is dealing with this Tower moment. And the more they're resisting this change, the harder they're making it for themselves. That's why it's this kind of Tower moment rather than this kind of Tower moment, because they didn't keep it moving. They had the opportunity to continue to just keep going, and they decided that it would be better and more fun to just watch somebody who is doing their inner work, doing the best for themselves. And now they're experiencing this come apart. And there's justice in this. As always, it's Libra, but I feel like in this situation, it's not as much of a person as it is like consequences to the situation, right? Because the scales have been dropped on the ground. There's a there's a sword stuck in the stone, which kind of makes me think Arthur and Excalibur. I also think about here, there's this little lunar moth here. And I feel like that's a guide in this situation, but it also makes me think about Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf is stuck on top of that tower, and he's been betrayed, and the moth comes to him, and he whispers to the moth, and the moth goes to get him help, goes to bring him strength. So I feel like there's, to the person who's being watched in this situation, there is strength in unexpected places. You are supported, and to reach out and don't feel like you have to deal with all of this alone, because you don't. Ultimately, the person who is watching you is also going to get theirs. Like karma. Okay. I feel like this was also in that other reading of deception, self-deception. So, I mean, yeah, this person is definitely watching you, and their behavior towards you has been deceptive. They don't have your best interest at heart. So if someone's coming up to you and they know things about you that they shouldn't know, or they're asking questions that they shouldn't be asking, or they're really in your business about something, deception is probably at play in that situation. Leo, watch out for snakes in the grass. Like, watch out for that person in the background who's just watching you get your life right and not offering any value. Who actually doesn't even, like, they're probably going to give signs that they don't want you to succeed. And even if this isn't, even if they're not directly watching you, like, you may not even know that they're watching you. They may not even be directly watching you, but they're interacting with your energy in some way without your consent for whatever reason. And to be quite honest, the reason doesn't matter. Their intentions towards you are not pure. So protect yourself and watch out for the snakes in the grass. I hope this was helpful, Leo. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful month of January. We'll see you in February.